Special night for the Lakers at Staples Center honoring Kobe Bryant, but it was Damian Lillard who exhibited the Mamba mentality more than anybody else. 48 for Lillard in the Blazers' victory.
I'm just happy he was able to continue playing a good brand of basketball and get a win against a really good team. I think #1 team in the West right now on the road. I was really proud of that, but I don't think anybody feels like he walked away as a winner tonight. With given the circumstances and the memories that we'll take away from it was just sad and it was just tough. So it was good that we had to compete. So being on the winning side is a positive, but I don't think anybody walks away from this moment in this situation a winner.
Through all that beautiful celebration before the game, what's your perspective of that, being out on the floor and seeing all of that?
I think it's tough, from an emotional standpoint, but he's worthy, more than worthy, and that type of love and that type of respect and that type of honor that was given to him, in the first game since it happened, it was only right. And, compared to what his family has to deal with, and, his closest friends have to deal with, us having to, honor him in that way and then play a game is a small thing. I think for what we do in our careers, this is what we do. And for him being arguably the toughest competitor to ever play the game, I felt like it was only right for us to pay our respect pregame and then go out there and honor him by competing, at a higher level. And I thought both teams did that.
What was it like for you to play in this game?
I tried my hardest to just, calm the emotional part about it down and just go out there and play. And I think for both teams it was a rough start to the game because it's hard to go from being in that type of mental state and watching and listening and then, jump into a game and, really care. So for me, I just, I tried to keep my emotions in check and just play the game, and have fun and go out there and compete. And that was that.
What stood out to you about the pregame stuff, that being out there and witnessing all that firsthand?
Lillard entered Friday with history on the line, 4 consecutive games with 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, tied for the longest streak by any player in NBA history, not named Oscar Robertson. And then on Friday, 48 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds, nearly a triple-double. He's the first player with 45 points and 10 assists at Staples Center since Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, 61, 47, 50, 36, and 48 for Damian Lillard. Is he the guy right now that you would say has got, if we're going to generalize and say Mamba mentality, is he the leader in the clubhouse?
Absolutely. He's putting the league on notice. And Portland dealt with some injuries early, and they struggled out of the gate, but they made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. And we talked so much about who are the top players in the game. And I keep hearing Anthony Davis being mentioned as a top 5 player, and the first thing that comes to my head is, when did he pass Dame Lillard? Because each year I've seen him lead his team to the playoffs and continue to progress. Anthony Davis left New Orleans to come to L.A. to hope to have that success.
Yeah.
Paul, you think?
Without a question. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
He's putting the team on his back who's struggling right now outside of the playoff race, but he's like, look, we want to make the playoffs. He's dealt with injuries, and this is what you need to do as a leader. Mm-hmm. This team was a top 2 or 3 team last year. They're struggling to make the playoff season. Now he's like, look, it's on me, guys. It's on me.
Yeah.
And he's showing Mamba mentality, and that's what you want to see out of your superstars.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet he's shooting from 5-point range on some of those shots and knocking them in.
He didn't get the memo that it was the night for the Lakers as Damian Lillard leads Portland past LeBron James and the Lakers. We were waiting for LeBron James to come to the podium and speak right there. Plenty of media gathered. What a night. It was unforgettable whether you were inside the building or outside. SportsCenter from Los Angeles returns after the break. Vanessa Bryant on Instagram posted a pic of Kobe and Gianna's jerseys. There is no number 24 without number 2. Girl daddy. Daddy's girl. My babies. Our angels. Part of the healing process is sharing with other people who care, like these two gentlemen right here, contemporaries of Kobe Bryant, Paul Pierce, Jalen Rose. What's your takeaway from the celebration we saw across the street?
My takeaway is I think everybody did a great job of doing their best to uplift Kobe, uplift Kobe's legacy as a basketball player, because that's who we got introduced to the man, but also this is a loss for humanity, and you get a chance to see him as a father, you get a chance to see him as an entrepreneur, and that level of growth when you've watched somebody over a 20-year period, you get a chance to grow with them, fight with them through their trials and tribulations, and to see everybody come together and celebrate the life of Kobe Bryant. I really want to give credit to a lot of people and everybody that contributed.
Yeah.
Paul-
Go ahead. Man.
He's a star in your hometown and a rival through your career. What do you know about Kobe Bryant that we need to know that maybe we don't know?
I mean, there's not much that I know that everybody else doesn't know. I mean, we shared a lot of different moments together, not only on the court, off the court. We had a business venture we would meet with every summer. But I mean, it's nothing more to say than just how Kobe was as a competitor, how he was as a person after basketball, how he was going to be the best at whatever he did, whether he played sports or what he did in the music world, in the motion picture world. He wanted just to be the best, and you saw him driving his kids to do that also. And the one thing I will take away from this, and I will try to install in my kids, is the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing more to help his legacy live on than to try to just install that in the people you love most.
Okay, so if you had an off-court relationship with him, what's the difference between the Black Mamba and Kobe Bryant?
The difference between the Black Mamba and Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, I mean, as you saw him with his daughter, he's a loving father. He's an entrepreneur. He's giving back. As you saw that after his career. The Black Mamba is just like the snake. I mean,
Deadly.
Deadly, just deadly. On the court, he wants to rip your heart off in competition, but a very great human, Kobe Bryant is.
Jalen, when you look at this game tonight, how difficult was this for the Lakers? No disrespect to the Trailblazers, but how difficult was this for them?
Well, it was extremely difficult, and Paul and I have been at the Staples Center since 2 o'clock today, and there were thousands of people outside, and you can literally hear a pin drop for hours. It was just so many people contributing to the memorial, signing the boards outside. And so once the game starts, the players now feel that same anxiety and energy as well for themselves, for the organization, for the fans. And that does weigh on you. These are human beings. They aren't robots.
Yeah.
So
Hold on to that thought, because we got to go to Frank Vogel. I'm sorry, Dan.
No worries.
Coach, what is your level of frustration and disappointment not coming away with a victory like you always wanted to, but especially on this particular evening?
We all wanted to win this game really bad, but our guys, I couldn't be more proud of how hard they played. You know, they've endured a lot this week. It was a heavy and emotional night, you know, from the tribute all the way throughout the game. You know, we felt it, and our guys poured their guts out there. You know, so I couldn't be more. We're disappointed we didn't get the win, but I couldn't be more happy and more proud of, you know, our guys' effort and, you know, and their performance.
Hey, Frank, how would you just describe the whole evening, the pregame ceremony, the emotion that went into that, you guys trying to then focus on basketball? What was that like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was very emotional. You know, I mean, our guys were teared up going into the, you know, into the jump ball, and you know, you just felt it the whole night. You know, you wanted to give maximum effort, but you know, we had a difficult week. You know, and in a situation like that, you know, all you ask for your guys is to put forth maximum effort. You know, and try to lock in as best you can mentally. You know, and they did that, and they did it at a high level. We ran into the hottest player in the NBA, who just shot the lights out tonight. And then when we brought double teams throughout the night, he was able to find guys. Whiteside goes 13 for 14, and shooters got it going. Had some good stretches, and you know, you tip your hat. The Portland Trailblazers played a great game.
Frank, well, what stood out to you with how LeBron approached the game, and also what did you make of how he handled addressing the crowd beforehand?
Well, what he said was just beautiful, you know, and it was strong, and it represented who he is and really who we are as a team, as an organization. I thought the tribute was extremely well done. by the people in the Lakers organization, and the fan support was, not surprising, but it was off the charts. It was really a great night from all those standpoints, and for Bron to be up there and speaking to Laker Nation with such strength, it really represents what we're all about.
Frank, to your right. Once the game started and you were drawing up plays and timeouts and things like that, did it feel normal right away, or did it take some time for maybe everything to feel normal for you?
That first stretch did not feel normal. In some ways, the whole night didn't feel normal, but you do get into the competition of the game, and you allow you ask yourself, or you push yourself to be focused on the task at hand, and I feel like our coaching staff and I feel like our guys did that at a pretty high level. We just fell short.
Frank, by halfway through the second quarter, everybody active on the roster had gotten into the game. Was that by design, conscious?
Yeah, it's like I said, and we're a family, and we become this current group has become a family very rapidly by NBA standards, and we all shared this week, and we all were on that plane to hear that news, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to contribute in this game.
Frank, what will it take to make it feel normal?
Time. It's the simplest answer. We've got to continue to just focus on the work. There's therapy in the work, and and that's what has led to our success so far this year. So it's going to take time, but our guys, we've got a resilient group with high character that has a great work ethic, and we'll continue to get back to work. We've got a game tomorrow night, so we've got to have a short memory on this one, and we got to lock in and try to get a game tomorrow, and understand there's a lot of season left to be played, and we expect to finish strong.
Frank, you guys were down 12 with about 9 minutes.
Lakers coach Frank Vogel there after his team goes down to the Blazers in the first game since the death of Kobe Bryant. Stephen A. Smith is at Staples Center, joins us now on SportsCenter. So, Stephen, what was your overall impression of what you saw tonight?
Well, it was an incredibly touching ceremony pregame, obviously. Usher performing, Boys to Men performing, highlights of Kobe Bryant, some of the words of wisdom that he espoused upon us for so many years. A lot of those things were included in the mix. And then an absolutely wonderful speech and tribute by LeBron James. There's no denying that. But then ultimately the game had to be played. And the Los Angeles Lakers coming back from that road trip, their last game being in Philadelphia about 5 or 6 days ago. This is their first game since. They appeared to be emotionally drained. There was a lot of stuff that was working against them, and going up against a Portland Trailblazers team tonight without the services of Carmelo Anthony. Damian Lillard, who also knew Kobe well and had a lot of love for him, showed up and showed out, dropped 48, and Hassan Whiteside hit 13 of his 14 shots, finished with 30-13 with 5 blocks as well. So Portland was more ready for this than the Los Angeles Lakers were, and that's why they won the game.
Frank Vogel mentioned time being the only thing that's going to allow things to get back to normal for the Lakers. What are your expectations for them as they continue along this road trying to get back to normalcy?
Well, first of all, I certainly expect the Los Angeles Lakers to compete for an NBA championship. Again, you're not trying to add pressure or anything like that. But, when you talk about having a Mamba mentality, when you talk about them wanting to dedicate this season to a Kobe Bryant, we all know who Kobe Bryant was and what his mentality was. It was about the championships. He's got 5 of them. And when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers squad, he wasn't an unrealistic individual. When they stunk up the joint in years past, he would say so. And he wouldn't be that supportive of them because he knew they weren't good enough. But this year, repeatedly, he's told me and anybody else who listened, they have the pieces to legitimately compete for a championship. So that should be the expectations. You have 2 of the 5 greatest players on the planet Earth. Kyle Kuzma is a third option. You got LeBron James with Anthony Davis. You've got a great coaching in Frank Vogel and his staff with Jason Kidd and Lionel Hollins and Phil Handy and the boys. There's really no stone that's been left unturned. They have what it takes to legitimately compete for a championship, and to expect anything less would be a disservice to themselves, and it certainly would be a disservice to Kobe. They know it, we know it, everybody knows it, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to stay for the rest of the season.
I mean, this was a difficult situation for the Lakers, obviously, with all the emotion, but also a very difficult situation for the Portland Trail Blazers coming in here on a night that would be so emotionally charged when the Lakers obviously wanted to win this game for Kobe Bryant's memory. What was your impression of the Blazers and the performance that they put on?
Well, listen, you got to give Hassan Whiteside credit. Anytime you hit 13 or 14 shots, you got to give credit where credit is due. He finished with 30 points. Again, 13 rebounds, 5 block shots. But forgive me if I'm literally saying to you, don't expect that too often, because I certainly don't think that Hassan Whiteside has done anything in his entire career to lead you to believe you should expect something like that on a regular basis. What you can expect, however, is the explosive tendencies of one Damian Lillard. This dude is something special. In the offseason, he signed a $250 million contract. He's been a Blazer throughout his entire career. And I'm telling you right now, in case no one's paying attention, he is an elite player in the game of basketball. He dropped 48 tonight. He went on Twitter or whatever social media platform he used and announced having the Mamba mentality and how he would show up tonight. And that's exactly what he did. And this is nothing new. The guy comes into the game hitting about 33 three-pointers in his last 3 games. He is an elite player. He doesn't play around, and he closes, and he shows up in big moments. And if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you're the Los Angeles Clippers, even if you're Denver or Utah, you can't ignore the Portland Trail Blazers, who have now won 3 straight and won tonight's game without Carmelo Anthony's services. Why? Because you have Damian Lillard. That's why. He's that big time. And when it's chips on the line, this brother shows up. He showed up tonight better than any Laker did.
All right, Stephen A. Smith joining us from Staples Center. Steve, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, Stephen A's across there. He's at the Staples Center. Okay, we were all there earlier. You two guys, I want you to paint a picture. The viewers have seen some pictures. Where were you at? What was seen? What were you feeling while the pregame ceremony was going on?
We had a chance to sit outside most of the time, and before we went in, we just saw how the memorial just continued to grow all day. I've been here since 2 o'clock, and I've seen the number of people grow, the flowers, the balloons, the pictures just grow throughout the day. Then you go inside, you see the performances. You see all the Laker jerseys sitting in the seats. You get a performance from Usher. Then you see the Kobe video, and it just seemed surreal for me. And then it just, as the night went on, LeBron's speech, it just suddenly became real in a moment that I still feel was unreal, that, he's really not here.
Right.
And it was difficult and a joy to watch at the same time.
And as all of the players got introduced, they got introduced as number 24 Kobe Bryant, which is something
from Lower Merion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, you don't normally go into your job, in this case playing a basketball game, when you're crying or you're upset and you're dealing with emotions that everyone feels. It's one thing if somebody has a tragedy in their family. It's another thing is when we all are dealing with a tragedy, including the fans. And I also want to send prayers out to my good friend Rob Pelinka, who's their GM and president, who's best friends with Kobe.
All right. Well,
one more thing I wanted to get to, Paul. We were talking about this beforehand, that it's not just Lakers, who are inspired by Kobe Bryant's memory.
Right.
We saw from Damian Lillard, so this is going to happen league-wide.
Yes.
The Lakers, just because it's Laker Nation, Kobe was a Laker, you got to understand, only one player on that team played with Kobe in a Laker uniform, Dwight Howard. And so we want to give the excuse to the Lakers for grieving, but the whole NBA is grieving. The whole NBA is playing for Kobe. And that's what the Lakers got to understand. It's not just them. They may receive the brunt of the questions because of the local media. It happened locally in Los Angeles and because he was a former Laker. But the whole league is feeling this, and the whole league wants to finish this season for Kobe.